cut costs of your feeds is fermenting. Is you can grow your own fodder and sprouts. Then again, if you want me to show you how to sprout grains for your chicken feeds, comment down below. If I get more comments on sprouting grains, I'll also do a dedicated video on sprouting grains like wheat, sorghum, maize. All the grains can be sprouted and then be fed to the chickens. So it is very easy to do. But when you sprout and you also plant fodders like alfalfa, then Mombasa grass, those will be able to cut costs.
Farm with mwizafarm, and you will never regret. Mwizafarm, the world's best organic poultry farm.
Once again, and you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. And of course, I decided like today's episode, I have to show you how you have to cut costs by 50% on your chicken feeds. If you're new to my YouTube channel, I'm Abraham Tumuramye, a CEO of mwizafarm and a passionate poultry farmer from Uganda. So right here, number one on how you can cut costs on chicken feeds. Number one, if you want to reduce the cost of your chicken feeds, is you have to start mixing your own feeds. So when you start mixing your own feeds, hereby you'll be able to cut costs by 50%. Because I also used to buy feeds from manufacturers, and a kg of feed I was buying it at 2,000 Ugandan money. If you're in Uganda, you are able to do that mathematics. But if you're not in Uganda, you'll be able to also combine. So when I started mixing for myself, I started mixing every kg at 1,100 Ugandan shillings. So you can see all that different. 900 or 900, which they were cheating me. And again, when you start mixing your own feeds, you doesn't incur costs like for transportation, for parking, for rent, for license. All those things are not included, because you can be able to get ingredients from farmers around who are growing crops. You can be able to get things which are around, you understand. Then another thing you can do if you want to cut costs on your chicken feeds is buying things in bulk. When I say you buy the ingredients in bulk, here I mean you have to buy things in I mean that you have to buy things at a go. So when you want to do this, you can maybe, if you're ordering like maize, you go and order direct maize from a road. You can order in tons, because most of the times if you buy things in bulk, they tend to give you a discount. So after giving a discount, of course, you see that discount they have given you, it will be an increased money on your pocket. So, and another thing you can do when you want to cut costs of your feeds is fermenting. Maybe with time, if you give me enough time, or if you want me to do a video on fermenting chicken feeds, let me know in the comment box below. If I get around 10 comments in the comment box below that requires me to show you a video on chicken feed fermenting, I will design that video. So that is another way of cutting costs on chicken feeds, because if you ferment your chicken feeds, those feeds will be able to compact, So when they compact, and again, they tend to, when the chicken is eating fermented feed, it tends to get full fast. And again, there is a plus or additional benefit of probiotics. So when chicken, let me show you one example. If you ferment chicken feeds, like 3 kgs, if your chickens are taking 3 kgs, and you decided to ferment them, they'll consume like 2 or 1.5 kgs instead of 3. because they tend to be full faster, and it even increases their thirsty. So when it increases their thirsty, they tend to go and drink a lot of water. They get full faster. And even when it comes to laying hens, they tend to lay eggs with high egg mass. And then another thing you can do when you want to cut cost on your chicken feeds is putting your chickens on free range. So allow your chickens to go out and forage. So if you allow your chickens to go out and forage, this will get you a benefit, because you can only give them a quarter of the foods they have been depending on, and then they go to look for their own feeds outside, because they will meet some fodders, they will meet some insects. It's a lot, and then of course you have cut out the costs. Then another thing you can do when you want to cut cost of your chicken feeds is you can grow your own fodder and sprouts. Then again, if you want me to show you how to sprout grains for your chicken feeds, comment down below. If I get more comments on sprouting grains, I'll also do a dedicated video on sprouting grains like wheat, sorghum, maize. All the grains can be sprouted and then be fed to the chickens. So it is very easy to do, but when you sprout and you also plant fodders like alfalfa, then Mombasa grass, those you'll be able to cut costs, because you'll be able to cut costs up to 50, up to 30% by using only fodder and sprouts. Then another best way to cut costs on your chicken feeds is by feeding table scraps or food leftovers. So when you understand that you have chickens, and you have to make sure that the moment you're feeding on your chicken feed, the moment you're eating and you get some of the scraps remains, you have to make sure that you put all those scraps and all those food leftovers on something that is clean, and then you take to your chickens. As I always say, never take the food scraps of table leftovers which has a lot of salt to the chickens, because this will impact on their health. So you have to make sure that you make sure that they are dry, or if they are not dry, they are not moldy, again they are not salty. Then another thing, if you want to cut costs on your chicken feed, is you have to use no waste or rat-proof feeders. I think you're able to see in my background the feeders I'm using. These feeders are not rat-proof, and they are not also, but they don't waste, because I know that as you can see, they are hung, all of them are hung, so they are swinging. So as they are swinging, it is very hard for a rat to come from the roof and then move down using on the rope. You understand? Again, it is very hard for the rat to go from down and then jump to the feeders, because it is like in a motion and it is not touching on the ground, and then it doesn't have access to upside. So rats will not be able to access my feeders. So again, due to the fact that these feeders are hanging, the chickens will not be able to waste the feeds. So that is the secret which I use to make sure that I minimize on the spillage, because this, when the rat goes there, they will steal feeds, and when the chicken starts spilling feeds down, of course you lose. So again, another thing you have to do when you want to cut costs on your chicken feeds is you have to grow what we call a chicken garden. When you know that your chickens have access to outside, what you have to do is you have to make sure that you organize that place where your chickens are having access to. Then you plant some crops, some grasses, where the chicken will go in and peck at them, and of course that will reduce on your cost. Then another thing maybe you can do, or last but not the least, is you have to use what we call, you have to do a compost for the chickens. So when you get everything that is not being done, you just put your pile of them somewhere. Then in that, some of the insects will go there to lay their eggs because of the such a smell that is coming out of those things. And then when the chickens go and plant lay there their eggs, Of course, after some period of time, those eggs will incubate, and after when those eggs has incubated, they will drop some of the maggots, and when the chickens go in that compost, they will enjoy that those maggots. So I hope this content was so helpful to you. Don't forget to share to the friends. I'm watching you, I'm leaving you. Don't leave this comment, don't leave this video before you like. Thank you so much. Catch you out with another.